Connect with yourself first. Make a video. See yourself. Not from someone else's eyes, but from your own eyes. What do you see? Who do you want to be? How do you want to be? How are you actually? What are you like inside? Are you a dreamer? Do you have so much to say but don't know how to say it? So many thoughts and ideas that want to get expressed, but not really sure how. Just don't have the voice. When you get down on paper, it just doesn't come out. When you get on the drawing board, it doesn't materialize. If you sit with yourself, just turn on the video camera. Look at yourself, not exactly in the mirror, because I'm suggesting you actually use a video camera for this. You turn a little selfie on, you turn it on, and you start by looking at yourself in the phone or the camera. And then, once you've connected to yourself, then you connect to yourself that's going to be watching the video, the playback, the feedback. What kind of ideas do you want to share with the world? When you leave this world, what do you want to be remembered by? Do you want to be remembered for your anger, your frustration, your sadness, your joy, your laughter, your smile, your ugliness, your happiness, your joy, your celebration, your despair? We only get to be in this world for just a few minutes, a lifetime, but in the end, sometimes your mark is just for a few minutes. Sometimes your lasting impression, the lasting moment that you left with somebody else is just a millisecond. A person walking across the road that smiled. I remember this man who walked by me. I think he might have been homeless. And he just smiled, and I smiled back at him, and he got me to smile, and he smiled, and he was just, that moment, you know, and wherever he is, that man, that person was very special because we both shared a moment of laughter. There was this kid once when I was in middle school, I think, maybe, and I was preparing for not a debate tournament, but it was part of a debate club, but a debate and speech club, and we were giving speeches, competition speeches, and I was about to give in and do my little poetry speech or display. And I was nervous, and this redheaded, freckled kid came by and just walked by, and he knew because we were all in this big competition, he knew how nervous I was, and he's like, big grin and big smile and just delighted up, and it was so goofy looking that I had to laugh, and all my nervousness went away because of just the joy of laughter and the joy of smiling and the joy of giggling and the joy of just being silly and goofball, and oh, how wonderful life is and was and is. And oh, if I could give, I sometimes think of that boy, and if I could know him today and give him this big hug of gratitude, because so often in life I remember that of just going in and being happy. I don't think we even had a conversation. Not that I remember. He was just a goofball, and I, to this day, wish I could meet him and know him. Wherever he is, if he ever sees this, well, he probably won't, but his spirit, I hope his spirit knows what an amazing gift that 15 seconds was. It's moments like that we can give people just by connecting with them, looking them in the eye with a smile. They're very special moments. So if you are feeling not quite yourself and don't feel like you can offer much, often I feel like there isn't much I can offer the world. I can't work away from home. I need to be able to work from home. I have many disabilities. I have many mental, quote, aberrations that the world would disapprove of if they knew all of them. From my anxiety to my having difficulty getting out of bed some days. By the way, there's a myth out there. There's this stigma that people who are depressed are suicidal or sad and depressed is the term. And they have this thought that they're incompetent. And in some ways, depressed people can be having difficulty, struggling hard, but they have inside of them, each of them, so much joy and celebration too, that just wants to come out. And they have difficulty. And I've had those moments. I'm someone who suffers from anxiety and long-term struggling with seeing the pros and cons of the world. And I probably have OCD, and I would say I would have bipolar, except bipolar is when it's just sort of random, whereas I get triggered, like when I fear money or the not having money or not having resources or struggling or fear losing some things that matter a lot to me. I get depressed or sad or down. But then when I think I have hope in any of these things, then I lighten up. So mine are very topic related, but that's still a form of going happy and going sad and going happy. And I think this is my belief about, and I know millions of people are going to disagree with me, but about the mental health of people. That's the word they use, mental health. That's the PC term. But people think of all of these things, depression, psychotics. In the Western world, there is the stigma of it being a disease. Whereas in some cultures, I was reading about the shamanic culture that believes that people who are, I don't know the word because I don't know the vocabulary very much. I haven't studied this area. But they, schizophrenics, I guess, where they think that according to this thing that I read, that everybody who has this, people who, not hypnotize, what's the right word? When you imagine people, the word's escaping me right now, but that idea where they are imagining things. The shamans, in this article I was reading, the shamans believe that they're connected to another world, and instead of healing them and treating them with drugs, they help them connect to that subconscious, to the other part of themselves, very much in tune and in harmony with the world. And I really liked that idea of where all these OCDs and depressions and anxieties and mental health quirks that people are afraid of, that if instead they embraced them and celebrated them and took advantage of them and see the opportunity in them, to see how they could be helpful tools instead of hindrances. Now, I agree, a lot of these quirks are hindrances. For example, I have difficulty leaving the house. I have difficulty being out in the world without my camera or without my safety nets that I have to help me be out in the world, because I find it very overwhelming, overstimulating. I'm one of those people who has a sensory disorder, and so I not as bad as some people, like, so my son, when he hears high-pitched sounds, he'll actually come close to throwing up and his whole body will get rattled. But, and I know some people who, they hear sounds and they just can't think, and I'm actually kind of like that sometimes, but there's many different ways, many different things that can limit a person. But I believe that each of us, even though we're limited, could find a way to give back and connect and help others. I'm not sure what that way is yet, but I know that there's potential, and I know that each of us has some special gift somewhere inside of us that's amazing for other people. Like, for example, I used to be a massage therapist, and my way of connecting was a touch and healing. Just a simple touch healed so much, and people are just a bundle of fear and anxiety. Even the most confident person has all these doubts and struggles that they have within themselves. So I think, who am I making this message for? For another human who's not going to watch this, or an AI about humanity? Although AI doesn't really need my input, they can just observe humanity. Just wanting to connect and wanting to have value and wanting to be meaningful and wanting to have my 2 cents of the world. Wanting to give out love. There's so much I want to do. For example, I want to, all these books behind me, I want to categorize them, or what's the word when you, not archive, but you find out inventory them, see what all I have. I read or glanced at most of these books. Each of them holds special meaning to me. I want to be known. I want to be understood. Yeah, I think that's my big thing. Other people have ease and efficiency, and some people value money, some people value popularity, being special. I already know I'm special. But I want to be understood. I want humanity to be appreciated and tolerated and allowed for. I want, we're expecting the future AI to accept and tolerate humanity, and yet we have difficulty doing it ourselves. And if I could give you a gift, it would be tolerance, patience, allowing, the gift of allowing. If I could be paid to allow. That would be so wonderful. Hi. I've been making a video about nothing. Or is it about something? Alright, well, I'm going to sign off here and hope that the world, I don't know if I'll publish this. Maybe. I'm gonna give you love. I'm gonna go attend to my family now.